Mm. Awesome. So I am Dr. Aneze Obuaya, and I'm a board certified medical doctor doing a lot of things with holistic natural medicine, but also a lot with spirituality and healing. Okay, I help people feel alive again from the inside out. And from the inside, I mean spirit, because that's actually lives inside of these bodies. It's so absurd to think that the bodies are all that we focus on when we actually have our spirits living in here. And so they're always intertwined, and that's what I do. So as much as I do all the functional medicine, holistic medicine, supplements, detox, parasites, hormonal imbalances, gut health, and all that stuff, I always bring it back to do my best to bring it back to the spirit. Which brings me to today: family secrets that kill and family secrets that heal. They're usually on the same spectrum. So what I've been seeing a lot of that made me want to up on this today is I see a lot of my patients coming into the clinic, and when we ask about family issues, a lot of times we have these young ladies saying, and young men saying, "Oh, they're kind of hush hush in the family about Uncle so and so and Auntie so and so. I kind of think something was going on," but they never quite told them the whole story. Now, this is so important because we know about family history, that things that run in the family, so that people can actually use those things as screening tools and preventive measures. Okay, and that's what I mean by family secrets that kill, especially when it comes to mental health issues and disorders and imbalances. There's such a stigma behind that, which is so unnecessary. And I dig a little bit deeper into that because the whole mental health issues, a lot of times, there's chemical imbalances here that we work on. And it's when I say imbalance, it's not even because there's an imbalance, it's that society in general, especially here in America, haven't taken time to study different people and their different needs for vitamins and minerals. We put everybody in one box, and when they're not okay in that one box, we say they have a mental health condition. Not they actually need different set of vitamins and minerals to keep their body and their brain in balance and tend to life just exactly as they need to, right? But there's a lot of stigma around the mental health issues: anxiety, depression, if there's been history of suicide in the family, schizophrenia, and things like that. And we need to be able to share this information with other family members. And I'm also talking about things even like cancer. Like it's almost like the families are scared to bring these up because it's like, oh, if we name it, then it's going to stick. So we're not going to say anything about it, right? There's also that. And then there's some of the other issues where it might even be looked at like as a weakness in the family. And when I'm saying that, is to say, especially when we talk about aunties, uncles, and relatives that are a little bit more far out, sometimes people are thinking about just their parents and what they had, or grandparents. But that uncle, auntie out there is also important because we have things like recessive genes, where it might be an uncle or an aunt far out that's actually affecting this person here in this family today, and we have no idea because that recessive gene that came from grandpa that didn't get to any of her mom's dad or grandparents, she actually got the extra one, and now she's got that hit, and we have no idea. And one thing that's also very important that people ignore, or people don't even think about, is that sometimes that one child or person in the family that's having the deepest struggle, we see it a lot with mental health issues, but we tend to see it even with some of these other cancer, autoimmune conditions, hormonal imbalances. They seem to get all of it. And it's like, why is this member of the family going through all of this at this moment? And it's almost like you can't even hide it anymore. And that's when these family issues or secrets that kill can actually become family secrets that heal, because that child or that person or that relative is literally been put in there so that everybody opens up, comes together, helps them, deals with it, ends that quote unquote curse, karma, whatever patterns that people are now calling inheritable conditions. It's there so that everybody opens up and works through it, and not looking at it like a stigma or anything like that. Okay. And when we go back to even ancestrally, even pre-slavery, I've been blessed to be able to work with elders that have passed on this knowledge to me, where we had the community together, where we had connection, and we could all, somebody over there is very likely to tell you, oh, that kid looks just like Uncle so and so back in the day that had that going on. So you better watch out because that might be happening, and change the way that child is raised. Do what you need to do to prevent any illnesses when you get to know about it, things like that. That's why community has been and still is important. And so Very important for you to share these information with your family, and not just the mental health. I'm talking about cancer issues, autoimmune conditions, those types of things. But also, some of the things people don't think about are even things along the lines of hormonal imbalances. There are people you start to note that they take oral contraceptives, birth control pills. They don't do well. They start throwing blood clots. Some of them get very sick. There's a pattern there. You need to understand if that's happening in the family. People now developing fibroids, why is it happening in this side of the family versus this child? Or, it also passes on. So even that information is important. Another information that's important is, as a mom, whenever you're birthing that child, some of the issues that you were dealing with at that time. Because as a baby's coming in on a spirit level and being planted in to become physical, fortunately or unfortunately, all those issues that are being mentally and emotionally charged in the mom is also going to affect that baby coming in. Okay. And we see that is like one of the laws of nature, that is just, it's just something that happens. And so that information is important. So I know some of us older folks will come here and say, well, my parents aren't around anymore, so I have no idea. Well, this is a time for you to figure that out. You can ask those questions, not only just for your health, it actually helps with connection. It builds a greater sense of understanding of the family and the relative and what they went through or what they might have been going through, for you to look at them a little bit differently and be like, whoa, right? So there's so many avenues there for these secrets that could really kill, literally, and I've seen that even in my family, versus secrets that heal. So we want to turn these things into things that can heal the family. Okay, wanted to share that because there was just a ton of that coming in, especially last week. I was like, what is this? All right. All right, so stay tuned in. I have a lot more offerings to come. I've just been really busy because, yes, we recently lost a family member, and I went through my health scare that led me to the emergency room, believe it or not, even though I like staying away from the emergency room. I was recently there, and yeah, but I'm back and doing well, and we'll be in tune. All right, so take care, everyone. One love. Ashe, Ise.